Hi, my name is Jennifer Terri. I make Philippine Travel Updates. In this video, we will talk about the complete travel guide for flight to the Philippines. Complete with the requirements and all. So, ito po yung these are the pre-departure requirements so that on the day of your trip, you're confident that you have all you need. When the airline asks you for the requirements, you have it, diba? There is no unnecessary surprise. Four steps for your flight to the Philippines. How to prepare to your flight to the Philippines in 4 steps. First is, let's comply with the immigration requirements. Second is, make a hotel booking. Except for OFWs and their dependents, hindi kailangan hotel booking. Number 3, register to One Health Pass. Number 4, get tested. That's it, Jennifer? Yes, that's it. And we'll talk about these points in detail. So let's start with the comply with immigration requirements. So if you are a Filipino citizen watching this, nothing to worry. Just bring your passport. That's it. Well, who can enter the Philippines? That's a very important question to answer. Filipinos, dual Filipino citizens, balikbayans, foreign nationals with visas. Foreign tourists are still not allowed. Okay, when I say balikbayans, I'm referring to former Filipinos, Filipinos who have migrated abroad and acquired foreign citizen. So, foreign national na sila pero may dugong Pinoy pa rin. So, they are called balikbayans, while foreign spouse and children of Filipinos or former Filipinos who are traveling with their Filipino family member, they can avail balikbayan privilege as well. Visa-free entry and stay. No need to apply for a visa. The visa will be given upon arrival. It will be stamped on your passport and it's free. You don't have to pay for anything. Now that it's clear on who can enter the Philippines, immigration requirements, former Filipino, old or expired Philippine passport, or Philippine birth certificate, either of the two. When it comes to Philippine birth certificate, it's much better po if it's NSO or much better PSA. When it comes to Philippine passport, it doesn't matter how old it is. If it expired, that's better. Philippine passport, that's all that matters, old or expired. While for the foreign spouse, you can either show an apostilled marriage certificate or a PSA or NSO marriage certificate or a report of marriage. So either of the three. A proof that you are indeed married to a Filipino or a former Filipino. While for the foreign child, you can birth certificate or an apostilled birth certificate. Now we have identified and complied with the immigration requirements. Our next step, number 2, is make a hotel booking. So this requirement is only for non-OFWs. OFWs, if you're watching this, hindi kailangan ng hotel booking. Now, things to remember when booking for our accredited quarantine hotel is that first, it has to be accredited. No, it's not just some hotel na, I bet ko tong hotel na to. Hindi po. They have to be accredited because BOQ made an inspection po sa mga quarantine hotels. There are special protocols. So again, you have to book in an accredited quarantine hotel, not in just some hotel. For that list, I'll give it to you later. Next is, you must book your quarantine hotel in your first port of entry to where you are gonna quarantine. So for example, if your flight is US to Manila to Davao, where do you quarantine? In Manila. That's where your first port of entry. If your flight is, kasi usually people book all throughout their final destination, no? Pero that's actually not the ideal way po. When you book your flight, book it. So for example, US to Manila, and then book separately your province ticket. So for example, Manila to Bohol, or Manila to Jensan, yan, book it separately po because you will quarantine in your first port of entry. Nobody cares if you have 20 minutes layover only in Manila. Oh, I only have 5 minutes layover in Cebu. No po, you will quarantine in your first port of entry. So that's where you should book. We have kababayans whose final destination is Cebu, but their first port of entry, Manila. Naku po, upon check-in, they were told you cannot board a plane unless you book a hotel in Manila. Kasi that's where you will quarantine. I think I have emphasized that enough. Moving forward, if you're a family traveling together with kids, don't worry, you can quarantine together. Husbands and wives, yes, you can quarantine together. Siblings, as long as you live in the same household, yes. Living together in the same household, pwede. Even nga boyfriend, basta you can show na you are living in the same household, napapayagan naman po. If there are OFWs watching this, baka iba po yung rules sa OFWs kasi po OWA minsan hinihiwalay pa rin. But I heard pwede naman po mag-sign ng waiver. So try nyo pong pakiusapan sa airport. Moving forward, how about minors? Minors will follow the classification of parents. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Before we can book our hotel booking, we have to identify first what country color coding do we belong. There's 3 colors. There is red, yellow, and green. So red, high-risk countries. They have longer quarantine, stricter entry restriction. Next is yellow list, so medium risk, moderate risk. Majority of countries, you who are watching this, yellow list. Lastly, green list. Green list travelers can avail shorter quarantine. But as I said, quarantine is the word. Everyone will quarantine. Everybody will go to a hotel. It doesn't matter if you're booster shot na po. If you have 4 booster shots, the rules is the same for everyone, maybe except for those with connections. Anyway, so you guys, all countries will undergo quarantine. And reminder that this green list, red list changes every 15th of the month and last day of the month. So you have to update, no? If you want to update, just follow our channel, subscribe if you haven't done so, because I always make updates on the changes. So let's go. What are the red list countries? These countries, Eswatini, Malawi, Namibia, Lesotho, Mozambique, and Spain are on red list from January 1 to 15. No regular commercial flight po. If you're coming from these countries, you're going to the Philippines to enter, no matter what visa you have, you are not allowed. Please, if only a transit, if you have a transit in Spain, that's okay. But if you're coming from these countries, cannot enter the Philippines. This is until January 15. Another list will be given after that date. So just watch out. So for red list, no, for those only Filipinos through repatriation and bayanihan flight can enter the Philippines coming from red list. So yan, this is the protocol na ifa-follow po. I will not go into detail because right now I don't think there are any repatriation or bayanihan flights from these countries. So what they can do is just wait till they lift the ban. Or if you have an emergency need to travel to the Philippines, contact Philippine Embassy. Next up, we have green list. So this is the precious green list. If you're coming from green list, you're fully vaccinated, you can avail a shorter quarantine. So these are the green list countries. I will just mention major countries. There's Bangladesh, China, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Kuwait, Oman, Taiwan, UAE. These countries are green list. They will still quarantine, but they can avail shorter. What do you mean shorter, Jennifer? So if you're fully vaccinated, you will get tested on the 3rd day po. So 3rd day, so for example, if you arrive today in the country, that today is, for example, January 6. You arrive January 6, when is your swab day? January 6, January 7, January 8. So you'll be swabbed on January 8, 3rd day, upon arrival in the Philippines. While if you're unvaccinated from green list, 7th day testing. So how many nights do you need to book if you're coming from green list? 3 nights if fully vaccinated. If unvaccinated or only partially vaccinated, 7 nights. So big difference. So get your vaccinations. While countries that are not on red, not on green, are automatically yellow list countries. So kung yellow list po tayo, we will follow this protocol. If fully vaccinated, 5 nights booking in the hotel. If unvaccinated, 7 nights. So it matters, no? It only matters kasi you will be released from the quarantine hotel once your negative result is out. So if you're negative, then you can leave the hotel. Yan. So just a summary, quick recap. Yan, how many nights do you need to book in the hotel? If green list country po tayo, 3 nights. If fully vaccinated. Pag yellow list, 5 nights. Pag red list, 7 nights. Okay. While unvaccinated have longer quarantine. 7 nights kung green list or yellow list, while kung red list, 9 nights. Now, for the list of the accredited quarantine hotels, I have this in the description box po. Please visit the description box. While, Jennifer, what about our pickup? So, family sundo, your family cannot pick you up at the airport. Private vehicles are not allowed to pick you up at the airport and take you to your quarantine hotel. It must be accredited transport, either hotel pickup, so your hotel can pick you up. It can either be airport transport, airport vehicles, or it can be through taxi drivers, airport taxi drivers. So here are a list of reliable taxi drivers, guys. They have been tested and proven by kababayans. And if you have any special requests like, can you buy me some groceries so I have extra food while on quarantine? So you can ask any of them po. They're very kind and helpful. Pinakagwapong taxi drivers sa NAIA. Yan. If you're in other airports po, hotel pick-up lang po ang pwede. While for OFWs, OWA will pick you up and drop you off at the quarantine hotel. Now, next step, our third step for your flight to the Philippines preparation is register to One Health Pass and other links. So, One Health Pass is a very important website. It's an online form po. It's like a travel and health declaration form. You will answer questions like travel history, are you fully vaccinated, where are you coming from, where is your address in the Philippines, contact number. So that is important, though that's also used for contact tracing. So we must use accurate, active contact details. So to register for One Health Pass, I made a registration video. Check this out po. Check this out po for a guide to registration to One Health Pass. But it's very easy naman po. Upon successful registration to One Health Pass, you will receive a QR code which you will need sa check-in. Upon arrival in the Philippines, it will be scanned many times. So it's important you have your One Health Pass QR code. When can you register? You can register 3 days before your arrival in the Philippines. And each passenger must register, including children. So if you're a family of 3 traveling, then 3 registration, 1 for each person. And other links, if you are arriving po in Clark and you are an OFW, Red Cross. If Subic po, Red Cross. Pag Davao, you need to register to Safe Davao QR code. Links in the description box. Our fourth and last step, get tested. Yes, before your flight to the Philippines, you must get tested. That is a requirement by the Philippine government. Everybody, except children who are 3 years old and under, must show negative test result. It has to be RT-PCR 72 hours within departure. So 3 days, 2 days, or 1 day bago ang flight, pwede kang magpa-test. The important thing is that you have your negative test result with you upon check-in. Because no negative test result, no boarding. So everyone 4 years old and up must have a negative test result. What about those who recently recovered from COVID, Jennifer? Can we show recovery letter? No, this is not the US po. Philippines requires negative test result talaga po. And that's it. That's it, Jennifer. Yes, that's it. There's only 4 steps. So let's review your pre-departure requirements. First is negative test result, immigration requirement, if that is an old passport or birth certificate or marriage certificate, One Health Pass QR code, hotel booking, if non-OFW, balikbayan or foreign national, and then vaccination card or certificate if fully vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, that's okay. You can still enter the Philippines. But do know that there are many restrictions on the unvaccinated, especially areas under alert level 3. Another tips is the day of your trip, remember to bring a pen. There will be forms to fill out at the airport, so it's important you have your own pen. And then bring some entertainment, bring snacks. Quarantine can be boring. Netflix, and all. Entertainment po. Other things that we must also think about is stay updated with the Philippine travel updates. They keep changing. And how can you do that? You follow my channel. I've got your back. Next thing is check regularly for any flight changes po. There's arrival cap in the Philippines. Flight changes happen. Our airlines are not to blame. It's the Philippine government restriction. So just be updated with the airline advisory. And that is it. that's all for this preparation for your trip to the Philippines. I hope this has helped you. It gave you confidence sa pag-uwi that you have all that is needed. Please share this to anyone who will be traveling soon to the Philippines, and please like this video. It helps the channel, and subscribe if you haven't done so. I'll see you in my arrival guide video. I will also make this video in Tagalog. So I'll see you po. God bless. Na namatay na ang aking lights. Bye!